But when she woke Wednesday morning, Andrew was nowhere to be found. She'd been surprised, but not alarmed. She figured he'd perhaps just stepped out for a trip to the vending machines, or maybe a quick walk. The idea that he felt well enough to leave the room was, in fact, a welcome development. After about 20 minutes of waiting, when Andrew hadn't returned, she'd called his cell, only to hear it ringing there in the room, from somewhere beneath the bedclothes. 3 hours later, Gwyneth was at the county sheriff's department, where she'd discovered, to her amazement, that they'd already encountered Andrew. At 3 a.m., a deputy had spotted a man stumbling along the ditches beside Gideon Road. It was strange to find someone walking along that particular deserted stretch of blacktop at that hour of the morning, and the deputy figured the guy was drunk, in trouble, or up to no good. All of which gave him reason enough to pull over, ask for an ID, and submit a field sobriety test, which the man had passed with flying colors. The man's driver's license identified him as Andrew Nathaniel Lindstrom of 361 Bells Chapel Road, Charlotte, North Carolina. Since Mr. Lindstrom was breaking no laws and claimed to be simply walking for enjoyment, he'd had no choice but to send him on his way. He had, however, found the whole encounter quite strange, so had written it up on his incident report. That was the last time anyone had seen Andrew, but Gwyneth thought she knew where he must have been headed. Cougar Creek Vineyards was off Gideon Road. At her insistence, the sheriff's office placed a call to the vineyard, but they claimed that if Andrew had indeed been heading in their direction, he hadn't shown up, at least as far as they knew, adding that certainly the deputies and Gwyneth herself would be welcome to come and have a look around, if they deemed it necessary. Which they did, but turned up nothing that suggested Andrew had been anywhere near the place. But Gwyneth wasn't convinced. Where else would he have been going? The deputy had come across Andrew less than a mile away from the entrance to the vineyard. Andrew had to have been heading there. Nothing else made sense. Not that any of it made sense. Over the course of the day, paranoia set in. Gwyneth became convinced that not only had Andrew made it to the vineyard, but someone there knew, and for reasons she couldn't fathom, they were hiding it. That night, under cover of darkness, she went there herself. At this point, Gwyneth's recounting of things became hazy and downright weird. The young woman was convinced that before she was even able to get past the gates, she'd been bitten. By vines.